Hey, what's up, guys? So, as you probably noticed, I've been uploading a lot more Horizon Forbidden West content, and that's because of the DLC coming out, but also because I was, taking the time to learn the combat a little bit more and some of the mechanics that I didn't really understand during my first playthrough. And, long story short, right before the DLC came out, this friend told me about this arena glitch, right? Where you could duplicate everything in your inventory however many times as you pleased. And I found this video by Arktix, where he explained how to do it, which I'll link it in the description. And but problem was I was able to do it for a couple of days, and that was great because I had a lot of resources and copies of coils for my first playthrough of the Burning Shores. But then, they patched it with the DLC. So and then there's a lot of stuff in the DLC that would be really nice to have more copies of, but no glitch, no infinite jumping anymore because it got patched until today, where I saw one of the top guys that I've been following, Wallison Paulino, when I was trying to understand a little bit more the combat mechanics and stuff. And he posted this video where there's this new way to leave the arena, and it's basically a bunch of jumps that are kind of tricky to get, but with a little bit of practice you can definitely do it. And the only thing was that the video is in Portuguese, and I understand a little bit, but then the rest, you kind of just fill in the gaps with what he's doing. But it does seem to have a little bit of nuance in the way that he's explaining things, and I couldn't get everything. So what I'm going to do is just try to explain it in English for more people to have access to how to do this. And I did tweak the jumps a little bit, just slightly, just the some of the spots where I start some of my jumps from are a little bit different, but it's basically what he showed. And so I'm also going to link that in the description, because he definitely should get credit. And both of those guys, Arktix and Wallison, are their channels are really, really cool. They have a lot of cool information about the game if you're looking to get a little bit better. But anyway, so here's the way that I do it. So I jump a little bit more from the left, and my jump is a little bit more vertical. He does this zigzag. I get on that log on the left, and that's sort of my reference point. And then this other jump I do twice so that I don't slip. And then this one you have to kind of go a little bit farther to the right and then come back to the left. This one, it helps if you aim and then immediately do this gainer jump. And so this is really tricky because the way that he does it in the video, it looks super complex. So what he does is like this jumping and aiming and then concentration and then does the gain, which, if you didn't know, if you jump you can bounce off of a wall, or propel yourself from polecaster pole. You can propel yourself upwards or bounce off of a wall with this gainer jump, and you do that by hitting circle when you're in the middle of a jump against the surface. And so here I do a little bit different, and the way that I did it is, if you can see, there's this like slightly elevated spot where you can, in the middle of the two beams, you can kind of jump and kind of wedge yourself a little bit higher. And then from there I do that bounce off. So you press X to jump and then circle to do the gainer to the left, and that's how I get that one jump. That one's the trickiest one of all. And then the next one is pretty easy. You just have to kind of jump into that second little platform. And then the last one is not that tricky, but there's a danger that if you don't jump, you have to kind of spam X. And so you jump in the middle of, on the top of the on that little rooftop, and then the beam on the left, and you have to kind of spam X, because otherwise you can slip through, and then you fall into the world. So you kind of fall between the cracks, but then you're going to be like clipping in the middle of, you know, different collision areas, and you won't be able to leave. So you're going to have to quit out of the game. But anyway, so this is the closest stash that you can fly to. It's the same as the original glitch, which once you left the arena, you just call your mount and then fly to the closest stash, and then basically you select everything from inventory, and then you're gonna dump it into your stash. And what that does is, the way that this works is, the game, when you go into the arena and then go into a challenge, the game lets you use all your resources, but they don't get used up. You can use everything you want, all the ammo and, you know, tools and everything you want for the challenge, but then you'll have them back when you're done, right? So the way that the game does that is it saves a copy of your inventory. So you're not supposed to leave, of course, or dump your whole inventory into your stash, which is what we're doing. So the game doesn't know, and what happens is, once you leave the arena, you enter this sort of like limbo state. And once you come back, what we're going to do is we're going to go back into the same challenge and then quit out immediately. And then once we leave, the game is going to give us a copy of what we had when we went in, right? Because the game still doesn't know that we have left. And it kind of glitches. It doesn't really know what to do when you go back. So you can just go back again, and it still saves the information. Like, so right now it doesn't know that we don't have anything in our inventory anymore, but it still remembers what it saved the last time. And so once we leave, we have everything back in our inventory, and then we can go and then take a quick look, which is what I'm about to do here. So right now I'm just going to my stash, and I'm going to look in my inventory first, right? Okay, so this is everything that I had before. And so it's a copy, right? So you could see that I had it in my inventory, and then I had it in my stash again. And so yeah, that's pretty much the glitch. Thanks for checking this out as always, and catch you guys on the next one.